Good morning, Eagles, and Happy New Year. Welcome to our spring semester 2026. And we are ready and wanting our Eagles back today and for this week. So we hope that you had a fantastic break. You've rolled into the new year in a great way. If not, and there's some things that you need, please reach out to us and let us know. We have a wonderful staff of people that can help support any way that we need to. But I do hope that you found some time to relax and to celebrate family and just really soak in the time that you had with your kiddos. But we're ready to have them back. So please bring them. Attendance, our attendance goal is 95% attendance rate for the year. We are floating around 94. I know that there are some cooties that are going around. So fever, please don't send. 24 hours fever free. But if not, please send them. In our newsletter this week, Miss Ray, our counselor, talks about some of those anxieties and things that happen as we go on a long break and the kids have to come back and they just like being at home, or they liked sleeping in, or those types of things, but they'll get back in the groove. And so please make sure you get them here. School starts at 7:35. We want our kiddos in their seats at that time. We know our traffic doesn't always accommodate that, but we do start our morning meetings at 7:35. So set those alarm clocks 5 minutes earlier if you struggle getting here, and make sure that you do get them dropped off before the gate closes in the morning. If you get here after that, you are required to walk your child into the building and sign them in. That is not a Fry Height policy. That is a Comal ISD policy. It is in our parent-student handbook on page 40 that any elementary students dropped off after the arrival time must be escorted into the building. So please don't get upset with our staff who are asking you to do that. It is a part of what we need to do. On some days when we know it's super rainy and we have less walkers, there's some flexibility there. But for the most part, we really want you to try and get into this parking lot by 7:35 and get your kiddos into those classrooms. Jumping into January, we are starting our new year. Our fifth grade has their field trip to the middle school coming up, and the permission slip is due this Friday. It has been attached to every single morning Monday message that we've sent for the last month and a half. It is in this one as well. Our fifth grade teachers have been sending it out, so please make sure you get that permission slip signed. We want our fifth graders to go over to the middle school, do the elective fair, see what they have to offer for those kids that are moving over there at the end of this school year, and just figure out what middle school life might be like. So that's coming up on the 12th. So make sure you get that permission slip signed and turned in digitally. It's a digital form. There is no school on the 19th, so please make sure you mark your calendar for that. Comal Read starts this month. We do have our paint along, or we used to call it painting with the pal, where Miss Grundy leads like a, what do they call that? What they used to call that? I can't remember, but it's a paint along. So she's going to read a book to us, have a picture in mind of what we're going to paint. We paint it together as a family, and we get to take it home for free. So that's going to happen along with our art show where you can buy your kiddos art. It'll be up like a gallery in the gym. So that's coming up on the 22nd of January. So mark your calendars there, and then Rise High at the end of the month. January sort of let's get back in the groove. We do have middle of year testing in January. Yes, we test the kids when they come back. We got to know what they've retained. We've got to know how much they've grown, because they have grown a ton. We also need to know where those gaps are so we can start filling those gaps. We have tutors that come in. We have staff that pull for supports, for academic support. So we have all sorts of things that we do, and we also want to celebrate the growth with you all too. So every one of our kiddos is doing great. They were working hard, and we are proud of them. And so this is our way to help them understand that the work they're doing is paying off. So please remind your kiddos, when you do know that they have that middle of year testing, to do their best, to give their all. That's all we care, is to try your best, show your work, and let's grow. That's it. That's what's important. So that's January in a nutshell. Library news, Miss Plum has a new program called Sora, and it provides some audiobooks to the kiddos. She also reminds you guys of Schlitterbahn Waves of Pages that are going to be due here soon, so that you guys can get a free ticket to Schlitterbahn, which is worth a good chunk of change because Schlitterbahn getting a little expensive, but it's still so much fun. And then also the Comal Reads that's coming up. So it starts this month. We do have copies of the book at school if you do need support in getting that that book in your hands to have with your family. Comal Reads is to promote literacy with families at home. So we read together a chapter or two a night. We challenge the kiddos with some questions. To start Comal Reads, we do an online Google Meets where Ms. Plum will read the first chapter to us. So it's really cool to have our community come together and listen to that read aloud to start off Comal Reads. So that's coming up. And the book that we are reading is listed and provided a link to purchase that book in the newsletter, as well as we have copies here at school. So please reach out if you need that. PTA is having their paint along, so the flyer for that is attached to our newsletter. It is January 22nd. The paint along starts at 6. It's in conjunction with our art show. So kids have been working on some art projects with Miss Grundy, and then she turns them into pieces of art that you can purchase and have at your house or give as gifts or whatever you'd like to do with them. And so that art gallery is the same night, January 22nd, from 5:30 to 7:30. So right in the middle of our Paint with a Pal, you can come early and walk the gallery, and you can stay a little later and walk the gallery, check out your kids' art, and then the other kids in our building who have provided art that is beautiful because it's all specific to them. So that's coming up, and information for that is listed. Some reminders, I've already mentioned the drop-off time is 7:35. Our policy on walking students and signing them in after that. So please pay attention to that. Another one that is a tough one for us because we do have families that don't, I want to say read or hear the information that we send home about birthday treats, but birthday treats have to be individually wrapped. That does not mean cupcakes in a cupcake holder. That means that a box of Rice Krispie treats has a nutritional value on it, and then each treat is individually wrapped that we can hand out to students at the end of the day to take home with them. Packets of Oreos, the Cakesters, Cosmic Brownies, but no cookie cakes, no donuts, no cupcakes. That's where we'll send them back home. And that really stinks for a kid who wants to celebrate their birthday. We do suggest non-food items. The kids really like bubbles and pencils and slime and those types of things. So even if you do non-food, that we would appreciate that. And I think the kids do enjoy that a little bit more than sometimes even the Rice Krispie treats that they get to munch on. So that policy that we have is in the newsletter as well. So please read that and catch yourself up with what that expectation is. And don't get mad at Miss Veronica or Miss Flores if they call you and tell you that we can't pass those things out. So if you are bringing some treats, let your teacher know 24 hours in advance so that they can let families know. We do have students that can't have the treats that you send, and so because of allergies, and so we ask them to bring a special treat if they are going to allow the kiddos to eat the treat in class. So we ask for that 24-hour heads up of what you're going to be sending. Counselor's Corner, we talked about it, the getting back in the groove, coming back to school. If you need any support from Miss Ray or Miss Mahaffey, our communities in school social worker, please let us know. They're here. They're wonderful. They want to help. They're here for kids' heads and hearts. So please let us know if you need anything there. And then, of course, the 5th grade parent information. We don't have anything in our virtual Lost and Found because we cleaned our Lost and Found out. We had 148 items left over from the spring semester. Every day before break, every week in our newsletter, we remind families of our Lost and Found. We show kids the items every day. These are items that have no names in them and are not able to be returned to the students in the classroom. So I'm begging you to please, initials and a grade level, first name and last initial, something in these coats and hoodies, water bottles, lunch boxes. It is not hard. If you don't have a Sharpie, come in and we'll give you one. It is very important to label these things. We want to get this stuff back to you. That was hundreds of dollars of things that we donated to communities and schools so that it can be used by those that have a need. So we don't throw them away, but we do hate to have to donate things that we just aren't taken care of. So our virtual Lost and Found is empty right now. Our Lost and Found is empty, but it will fill up quickly because we haven't seen a really cold snap yet. And so jackets and things like that haven't necessarily been worn regularly. So please get names and things and let's get that lost and found emptied by the end of the year if we do lose anything. So that's all I have. I do want to wish you again a happy new year. If you have any questions, you have any needs, please reach out to myself, Ms. Henderson, our front office staff. We are here for you. We'll answer any questions and support you any way that we can. So thanks for being a part of our great team, our school family, a part of growing our kids together, and we really appreciate you. Let's have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week.